12 R-rated adult animated spin-offs from movies and games. Hi, I'm Christian Harris. Thank you for watching Marvelous Videos. It's easy to write off animated content as children's fare, but that's far from reality. Some of the most mature and dark concepts have been explored in animated movies and series. It's gotten to the point where many of these serials are tagged with an R rating. This is usually due to strong violence, sexuality, language, or simply too harsh a storyline to be appropriate for kids.
Yeah, I kissed you already, buddy.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit tree.
Ah, fuck off, get out of here.
Yeah, fuck off, kid.
However, such R-rated animated content is often made up of spin-offs from movies and games. It's much easier to dive into pre-existing concepts that haven't been elaborated upon in their respective medium. The cartoon platform provides these opportunities, and some talented creators have consequently used them to break the creative barricades on adult animated media. This video will show you a glimpse of such animated content. Warning: things will get extreme henceforth.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Dante's Inferno, an animated epic, based on the Dante's Inferno game. Dante has been fighting in the Crusades for over 3 years. After returning home, he finds that his father has been murdered and his lady love, Beatrice, mortally wounded. As her soul is heaven-bound, Lucifer takes her to hell and plays his dirty tricks to try and prove that Dante had cheated on her. Dante follows them to the underworld where he must cross the 9 circles of hell to finally reach his true love. A painful journey full of symbolism, this is adapted from the video game Dante's Inferno, which in turn was a loose adaptation of the first part of Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. It retains the format of the game to some extent, as the narrative is about crossing one level of hell after another. If you observe carefully, you'll even realize that every stage has a boss fight and the usual beasts for fodder. However, the simplistic story is actually much more complicated than it seems. We get to know that Beatrice, with innocent faith in her husband, had struck a bet with Lucifer that he would stay loyal to her and not fall into sin while he was away. Throughout the movie, Lucifer happily shatters her faith in God, mankind, and ultimately her husband. The animation is stunning, and the circles of hell look surreal and imaginative. The voice acting is spot on, with Mark Hamill and Peter Jessup being the standout performers. There's a lot of blood and violence, making it no surprise that it got an R rating. Granted, we don't think the complexities of the plot would have appealed to children anyway. The Chronicles of Riddick: Dark Fury, based on the Riddick movies. A convict, Riddick, manages to escape from a desert planet along with his companions Jack and Imam. However, they are soon apprehended by a spaceship of bounty hunters led by Antonia Chillingsworth. She is an imperial woman who has a strange hobby of collecting the most notorious criminals in the galaxy. Instead of delivering them back to the places where they await punishment, she turns them into statues and keeps them in her cherished collection. With Riddick set to be a part of this set of criminal statues, will he manage to find a way out? This movie is a part of the Riddick franchise and was meant to serve as a filler for the 5-year void between Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. Peter Chung, the man behind Aeon Flux, deservingly fills the director's shoes and brings his unique style to the Riddick universe. Dark Fury's fast-paced narrative is full of non-stop action and violence. It's quite entertaining to see Riddick kick some ass in animation. The short film also introduces the character of Toombs, a bounty hunter who plays a crucial role later on. The animation quality, however, leaves a lot to be desired, and the hurried manner of filming shows in the occasional grainy shot. The voice acting, however, makes up for it, with the likes of Vin Diesel, Keith David, and Rihanna Griffith all adding credibility to the whole thing. If you don't mind a trip to the dark side, this might be a delightful little gem for you. Starship Troopers, Traitor of Mars, based on the Starship Troopers movies. Johnny Rico is now demoted to a colonel and even relocated to a poorly prepared Martian space station. He tries to train his new squad, but they prove to be too incompetent to handle the challenges of a serious war. Since their planet was somewhat unaffected by the arachnid conflict, they were complacent and caught off guard when the insects attacked. Rico now has to marshal his troops to reclaim Mars from the devastating bug assault.
Reload! Me too! No, me first!
The success story of the Starship Troopers franchise has been a turbulent one, with grand hits like the Paul Verhoeven live-action film and some abysmal sequels. Traitor of Mars stands somewhere in the middle and is kind of in the same category as the previous Starship Troopers Invasion. As you can imagine from the plot, the focus is always on the non-stop action sequences that look at the combat between humans and space bugs. The makers invested heavily in this CGI animated movie, and the attention to detail is admirable. However, all the good work in visual effects and design is ruined by a mediocre script, poor dialogue, and average voice acting. With the exception of Casper Van Dien, who was nominated for his performance. Overall, if you aren't bothered by the fun and goofy side of things, this Starship Troopers animated attempt will be quite an entertaining affair.
Shoot the truck!
Dead Space Downfall, based on the Dead Space game. This animated movie serves as a well-crafted prequel to how it all started before the madness depicted in the first Dead Space. A mining spaceship is carrying a strange and potentially dangerous artifact called the Red Marker. It was found in the Aegis 7 colony, with the people there falling prey to some of the contamination that caused them to commit suicides and murders. Senior Security Officer Barrow is on this ship so that he can foresee the danger of their situation, but it's too late as the horrors are unleashed on board. It's tough to fill in the shoes of a video game that's considered to be among the best. However, this animated movie does manage to retain the scary and fun parts of the games. The animation work is subtle, and the necromorphs are well drawn and believable. You'll get to experience a mix of Western and Japanese animation. Downfall moves at a brisk pace, and horror fans will relish the amount of blood and gore on offer. However, it's not all about hacking and slashing, as the creators carefully preserve an eerie ambiance of dread and uncertainty. The plot could have been more detailed, and we found the explanations to be a bit lacking at times. But that being said, it's ultimately a smooth blend between The Thing and Alien, two classics that you can't go wrong by.
Oh, Snow!
Devil May Cry, based on the Devil May Cry games. Dante is the son of a powerful demon and human. He runs an agency that deals with supernatural activities, and despite some financial woes, never steps back from fighting demons. His people constantly keep a steady supply of work, and he continues to battle against the evil forces even though his debts keep piling up. However, one job lands on his desk that could be a potential threat to his very existence. Will he be up for the challenge this time? This was an animated series based upon the Devil May Cry games that were a huge hit. While watching the series, however, it's best not to constantly compare it with the legacy of the games. The games did have an interesting storyline, but the books have the best detailing, and this series is more in line with those novels. It's rather an intriguing plot, with the makers stressing intricate aspects like character development over constant battles. The action sequences, however, are totally worth your time and will pose for some of the most hardcore sights in anime history. The animation quality is a gift for this series, and the character designs in particular are outstanding. In a nutshell, Devil May Cry's animated version is a pure joy spanning 12 episodes that will be a treat for those who have loved the games over the years. Highlander, The Search for Vengeance. based on the Highlander movies. The popularity of the first Highlander movie spawned many sequels, but few are as good as this animated continuation of the franchise. It's all about a determined quest for revenge, as immortal Colin MacLeod looks to avenge the murder of his lover by the immortal despot Marcus Octavius. He is accompanied by the wisecracking ghost Amargan, their search taking them through the ages in pursuit of Octavius. When he encounters a submerged New York with troubled people, he's faced with a crucial dilemma. Should he help out the survivors or stay true to his purpose of hunting down Octavius? This animated venture was a joint American and Japanese production, where the latter handled the direction and animation. This ensures the authentic Japanese style of work and the brilliance of veteran director Yoshiaki Kawajiri. He starts off with a story that is in sync with the Highlander myth, and the narrative bears the stamp of his unique format. You might find the plot a tad cliched, but it still beats any Highlander sequel hands down. There are some gorgeous fights that take your breath away, and the stellar CG shots will leave you asking for more. The visuals of post-apocalyptic New York City are a bit too realistic for comfort, and the full-fledged battle between the dictator Octavius is one for the thrill-seekers. Although it's inspired by the Highlander movies, there is an element of originality that makes it almost like an alternate story. We strongly recommend this timeless drama, but keep the kids away from the violence. HELLBOY – Blood and Iron, based on the HELLBOY movies. Someone is attempting to resurrect a deadly female vampire who was destroyed way back in 1939. Professor Broom investigates the matter and assigns the best of the BPRD agents, including HELLBOY, to look into the matter. They soon discover a sinister secret behind a ghost-infested mansion and have to find a way to stop the bloodbath. As the threat of the vampire looms large, HELLBOY has to fight all forms of evil, including werewolves, hellhounds, and the vampire herself. Watch this breathtaking animated flick to know what happens next. This animated attempt to recreate the heroics of HELLBOY is an interesting dark romp with the paranormal evil entities. In our opinion, it's much better than the first HELLBOY animated film and feels a lot like the live-action movies by Guillermo del Toro. It might be R-rated, but this brave attempt is appropriate for elder children. There are some cool action scenes, with most of them consisting of the team fighting off evil beings in the region. We also loved Ron Perlman's voiceover as HELLBOY because, honestly, there's nobody better to give life to this iconic character. However, despite all the good things about Blood and Iron, we must admit there are aspects that could have been better. The story is often over-reliant on Dr. Broom, and HELLBOY should have had a lot more challenging fights. Besides these, you have a remarkable animated film on your plate for a fun evening with friends.
Nice work, pal.
Resident Evil, based on the Resident Evil games. Special Agent Leon S. Kennedy lands up in a war zone where rumors say that the United States is using bioorganic weapons. He verifies these rumors to be true and ignores orders from his superiors to abort the mission. He vows to eliminate the threat of this devastating weapon created by the notorious Umbrella Corporation. It has the potential to unleash absolute hell on Earth, and Agent Leon enters the battlefield to put an end to this misery. You know an animated movie has done well when it outperforms its live-action counterparts. Though it starts off strange, the narrative quickly picks up steam and packs quite a punch. With the use of full CGI, the visual effects are brilliant, and you'll be amazed at some of the wicked action scenes that are on offer. The clever manipulation of the lights and the gruesome details of the zombies make it a must-watch for fans. As degeneration proceeds, the action intensifies, and the climactic moment will not find too many rivals in quality. We loved how the ambiance of the Resident Evil games has been recreated for this effort. In particular, you'll be reminded of the older titles. The events in this movie are shown to be taking place before Resident Evil 6, that was released in 2012. Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge, based on the Mortal Kombat games. Gamers all over the world are well versed with the exciting Mortal Kombat series that thrilled generation after generation. This animated martial arts film is based on the vast gaming franchise and tells the story of Hanzo Hasashi, whose entire clan is murdered by a rival ninja. Now he's given a chance to save his loved ones, but for that, he must participate in a notorious interdimensional fighting tournament. There are others fighting as well, who are fighting for the Earth Realm, trying to stop its destruction. Scorpion's Revenge counts as one of those movies that disappoint you by being too short. This R-rated animated film is absolutely badass and comes in the pristine package of a gripping plot and incredible fight scenes. It is the second animated Mortal Kombat movie since 1995. And the R rating is proof that the makers did not shy away from the necessary violence. The gory fatalities are bloody without a care for the censor boards, and the gorehounds will love the adrenaline-pumping brutality on offer. All your known characters are back, from Sonya Blade to Johnny Cage, and they all have their signature moves that they're known for. Every moment of the movie is derived from the games, and it gives it the dash of originality that we loved. There's even some wacky humor in the middle of the blood-soaked battles. We can't wait for part 2 of this magical experience. Heck, a Mortal Kombat cinematic universe on these lines would be a special gift for the fans. Constantine, City of Demons. In this animated take on the story, Detective John Constantine is seen helping a family man, Chaz, save his daughter's soul from the nefarious demon Beryl. They proceed through a world of dark magic, and there's a price to pay for every misadventure. Can Constantine battle through the cunning, hellish elements and overcome his own demons to succeed in this treacherous mission? An animated movie is elevated to a different dimension with quality voice actors, and this film is a perfect example. It has one of the darkest plots that you will ever see, and that's saying something, given the number of highly disturbing animated content out there. It elaborates on the painful burden that the hero has to bear to make the world a better place. With impressive animation and vivid detailing, every scene comes to life and will leave you in a trance. City of Demons is engaging throughout its entire duration, and the final twist in the last few minutes is truly shocking. There's something for Constantine fans out there, and even if you aren't one, you can always enjoy the lucid narrative that is laid out before your eyes.
Why did that sweet little you attack me?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sweet at that age.
Harley Quinn, loose spin-off from Batman the Animated Series. You've known various forms of Harley Quinn so far, and in this version, you'll see her as a proud individual who strives to make Gotham City her own. The best of the character is explored with sincerity, and it's everything that the Birds of Prey movie couldn't be. A spin-off loosely based on Batman the Animated Series is as challenging as it sounds. Yet this refreshing take on order in Gotham City with Harley Quinn in the mix of things is a spirited attempt that is fun and relatable. We were in awe of the Ivy-Harley chemistry, and the natural flaws of the villainess make it look like a real-world story despite the comic book elements. You wouldn't think Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory would be an appropriate voiceover for Dr. Quinzel, but you'd be pleasantly surprised. She comes off as a fantastic antagonist, and it's nice to see her take the center stage for a change. This was one of the first Warner Bros. Series that was rated TVMA, but the mature content manages to bring the true essence of the dark DC universe. Castlevania, based on the Castlevania video games. Castlevania is a very popular game series from the 80s and 90s. The animated adaptation picks up the dark medieval fantasy and traces the journey of the last surviving member of the Belmont clan. Dracula Vlad Tepes spells a major threat for Eastern Europe when his horde of monsters try to wipe out any remaining human existence. Belmont teams up with his comrades to form a resistance to prevent the inevitable. Castlevania is 22 episodes of pure joy and is one of the rare video game adaptations that does not disappoint. The first season was an indication of what was to come, with the series maintaining a fluid history line. Every episode tops its preceding one with more twists to follow. The action-filled narrative shines with impeccable animation work and innovative designing. We loved how the villain Dracula is humanized and not portrayed as a mindless slayer. A little warning for those who are very spiritual: there are moments where religious figures, women, and even children are slain mercilessly. For those still willing to check it out, it's available on Netflix. The fans of the game will accept Castlevania gleefully because it always stays true to its original source material.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
This might hurt a little.